Hello and welcome to Tdhc Blogger. My name is Nakwa Kokoti, and today we are going to talk about how skills and faith can create opportunities for the youth. Today I'm joined by the CEO of Beckma's Flavor. Her name is Mary Akwele Tete, and she's a proud member of the Divine Healers Church, Akwetiman Assembly A North. Yes, and she's here to discuss how faith and skills can create opportunities for the youth. CEO, before we start the main conversation, can you introduce yourself to our viewers?
Okay, my name is Mary Akwele Tete, a proud member of the Divine Healers Church. I'm in District A North, Akwetiman Assembly to be precise. I love music, so I'm in the district's band, the assembly band as well, and also the church secretary for the Akwetiman Assembly.
Wow, that's so nice. Your profile is very beautiful when it comes to the church.
You.
Yes. So, Beckma's Flavor, before we dive into the main conversation, which is about how skills and faith can create opportunities for the youth. Right now, earlier on, I mentioned that you are the CEO of Beckma's Flavor. Can you tell us something about Beckma's Flavor?
So Beckma is a brand, a bakery brand. We are specialized in doing baked products. So being a cakes, pastries, desserts. Now we are into juices and then yogurt as well. And we train people too. So it's a bakery brand.
Wow. So how did Beckma start? How did everything come up?
So Beckma started officially in the year 2019.
Wow.
I completed my cake training in the year 2018. And, you know, about starting this whole brand thing, after completing my cake training, I didn't have anybody to work with. You know, it's not like currently that there are so many ways that you can join other bakery brands, even if you don't have your own brand. So after completing school, I was able to put together some funds and I got myself things that I can start to work with. So I got my oven, my baking tools. And the funny thing is, getting a space, I didn't have anywhere that I could start from. So I had a cousin, by then she lived around Bubuashi, and I lived at La Paz.
Okay.
So their compound was big enough, so I spoke to them. And then I kept my oven and my table where I kept my baking stuffs over there. So when I get an order, I go there to do my baking, and my church has really been a huge support to my baking journey because starting was not easy, but when I introduce my brand to them, what I do, they support me. When there are birthday orders and stuff, they patronize me. So that was how it all started. I started from someone's home, someone's compound. Yeah, that was where I started my baking.
So you started from someone's compound to your own compound?
Yeah, and today I have 2 shops.
Wow.
First of all, when I came, I'm now based at Dome. That is where my shop is located. And all the time, I want to say a big thank you to my husband, who was then my fiancé. He's been of great support to my business because the first shop I got, it was not that big. It was something cute and small, but I believe in small beginnings. I believe in putting in your efforts in whatever space you find yourself in. Yeah, so when I got my first shop, it was fun though, because I had nothing, but I believed I'll get somewhere in the near future. So from there, and then God has been good. The support from the church, especially, anywhere I get to, I always brag about my church because they have been so supportive to this brand. And thanks be to God, today we have a big space where we're able to accommodate people, train them over there, do lots of orders. in there.
So do you think your faith that you worked with has brought you this far?
Yes, I always say in this journey, in this business, you don't have to exclude the God factor, because aside the fact that you feel you have it all, when you don't have God, trust me, there are times that things won't go on well for you.
Right.
Because now people are pushing so much into this brand. This brand is financially draining. It drains a lot financially. So if you don't have the funds, if you don't have the means, you can't get to where you want to get to. But one thing I believe is with God, everything is possible. Because there are days that I want to do something, okay? I want to venture into something. I don't have anybody to run to. I don't have anybody to lean on. But immediately I talk to God. God has been my backbone. Anytime I talk to God, He paves way when I least expect.
Wow. So initially you mentioned that Beckma, aside baking and all that, you train people to become professionals. So what inspired you to turn baking into business and then a training space?
Actually, initially I wanted it to be like a brand that serves people with premium goods only. But along the line, you see people coming to my DMs, people walking into my shop, and they'll be like, they want to learn what I do. There are people that sometimes they visit my social media platforms and they come back and tell me, Beckma, I like what I've seen. I like the things I see on your page. I would want you to train me to also become a professional. And that is how it all started. So people come into my bakery as novice and then they leave as professionals. And thanks be to God, there are lots of people that have trained that they almost gave up in life because they felt they can't do anything for themselves. But after leaving the shores of Beckma, they are doing so well.
Yes, you know, lately, the youth especially, they complain about the fact that there are no jobs. And you know, right now, it's the skills that are making the money. It's not, excuse me to say, no one should come for me. It's not the office works, to be honest with you. It's the skills, the handicrafts, and all that. But people are still complaining that there are no works. Do you have any plans for the youth in the church?
Okay. When I hear people say there are no jobs, actually there are jobs. But the mindset that people go into it, that is what is the major problem. Because, for instance, I have worked with a couple of people. There are people that I've employed. And most people go into seeking, when people want to look for jobs, the main target is the money. In as much as we are working because we want to make money, there are other factors that you need to consider. Okay, now if you are seeking for a job, it is your attitude that is going to sustain that job that you are going to get. If you are employed into any business field, any space you find yourself in, if you don't have the positive attitude towards that job, you can't keep it. Because there are people that go into jobs and then they end up misbehaving. They don't care about the success of the job. Now, if you are working with someone or you are working for someone, when the business succeeds, you are equally going to benefit from it. So when you are venturing into any job, the first thing that you always have to think is, how passionate are you about that particular job you are venturing into? Right. Because I always tell people that come closer to me that there are times that I sacrifice a lot for my brand. When it comes, let me talk about the church, because it is the church. People that are in my district especially, and some of the other districts, they know me. I do give away a lot. I give to people. Let's say I want to introduce a product to the people around. I focus more on the church, because why will I be in a church and then my members don't know this is what I do? You understand?
I understand you.
So there are job opportunities, but the mindset that people go in with, that is the problem. If you go in with the mind that you are going to make something out of it, now you are ready for the job. So you try as much as you can to put in your best into it. And that is when you are also going to get something out of it.
As a CEO, you mentioned that sometimes when people are going to seek for a job and all that, it's the mindset that they have that draws them back and all that. Prior to that, do you think there are other mistakes that they do that do not help them get the job?
So that was why I said that earlier, that is the attitude. Everything sums up to the attitude, because let's say when it comes to the bakery, because I'm a baker, let me talk about the bakery aspect. So you get someone come to you that, oh, please, I'm looking for a job. Okay, I have a job opportunity for a decorator or a baker. Now, you employ this person as a baker into your bakery, and there are petty instructions that you give them. As a baker, you need to check your baked products before they leave your bakery. You walk into the bakery and then there are baked products, you check, and surprisingly, there's no sugar in a cake that has been baked. That shouldn't happen. Yes. If you are passionate about something, if you take someone's work as yours, you are going to look at it from this side that I am making an order for a client. So if I have baked a cake, I need to taste this cake and make sure that everything is on point before that cake will be delivered to the customer. So you are not looking at it from the side that you are working for someone, but you are doing it as if it is for you. But there are people that work like they do not care. They are just working because they've been asked to work. So everything comes back to the attitude. Now, if I'm a CEO and then I come to my bakery and I check that we have lots of baked products and there are problems in every product that I taste, obviously I'm not going to be okay with you, the baker that baked that product. So it might get to a point that I'll be like, I'll have to let you go because you're not going to help that brand. So most people do not put in their best when they are working for people.
Have you ever trained people from the church?
From the church, I currently have one person. Yeah, I've not trained over the years. There was even one time when I gave up a free slot to a youth in my district, but no one came forward. But currently, I have someone I'm training from my assembly, to be precise.
Wow. Since you opened the slots for them and no one came up, does it mean that the youth in the church, they don't really want to work, or they just want free things?
Oh, even with that slot, it was a free training. Okay, the only thing that individual had to do was to provide his or her own ingredients for the training.
Wow.
But you know, when it comes to this business, passion comes first. If you are not passionate about it, there are people that sometimes they see me working, they'll be like, hey, Beckma, what's much kai? Hey, Beckma, you're doing. Sometimes when I bring out a product or a finished work, people will be like, hey, Beckma, but the effort that went into it, there are people that cannot stand it. Sometimes you have to work midnight. Imagine me having a toddler, I have my husband, I have a family to take care of, and sometimes I have to work into the night. I close as late as 2 a.m. Before I go home. Why? Because I want to deliver to my clients. So I think the passion, some people, most of them are not passionate about this whole business. So if you're not passionate about it, you can't succeed. There's no way you can go through it, because our work is very stressful. It's time consuming. It's so stressful. So if you are not passionate about it, if you are not psychologically ready, you can't go into it.
Do you have plans of opening free slots for members of the church? And is it just your church, your district, or the whole, like, Divine Healers, no matter where you're coming from?
Actually, I have plans of giving free slots to people, I said, members of the Divine Healers Church that are willing to go into this business. There have been times that I have thought of even talking to my regional coordinator, who even happens to be my very own pastor, and also in my assembly. There are times that I have thought of telling him for us to even have a workshop. But you know, one thing is, I like people who come forward. When you try pushing in, people don't value it. You know, when it's like you see someone sitting there, be like, come and let me train you. Sometimes they feel like, when I'll pay bonus money, you want to do it. But when you get someone who is passionate about this and the person comes forward, yes, with that aspect, you're able to, impact very well. So I think even as a church, there are so many things especially things that you can teach people. We have mothers in the church, we have sisters, we have brothers in the church. A training, like, let's say, I train people in fresh juices, I train yogurts. Now, yogurt business is even something you can work from the comfort of your home. There are some things that you don't need a shop. You can just work from the comfort. Now, because of social media, you don't need to get a shop before you'll be able to work. Yeah, so I think if the leaders of the youth, let's talk about the youth particularly, the leaders of the youth can, put things together. For me, I'm always I am ever ready to give back to my church because they've been very supportive to me. So if they are ready, I am equally ready. Yes.
So I want to know more. You mentioned that your job is time consuming and then you have to be determined to work as a baker. Yes. So everyone sees cake. Like when I see cake, the finished work is nice, very beautiful, excellent. Everyone sees it to be very beautiful and on social media and reality and all that. Is there something behind that? Like there are some realities you face that sometimes you just be like, no, this thing, if I take it to God, everything is going to be perfect and all that.
Cake is art. About cake in general, you need to be creative. Sometimes you need to look at the things around you. There are times that people bring inspirations. One person that I have one field that I want to keep doing better in that field. I love creating designs for children, for kids. So I always say that I am the kids' favorite baker. When you bring any design related to kids' character cake, I try as much as I can to execute that design for you. Yeah, with cake is art, yes. I'm not an artist, but cake will force you to be an artist. And there are times that you get certain designs that the first thing, in fact, anytime I have a work to do, like I said, the God factor first. You pray into your business, you commit whatever thing you're coming to do into the hands of God. And at the end of the day, it turns out very successful.
Wow.
Yeah.
Beckma, aside being a CEO and then facing some challenges before you became a CEO and all that, when you were starting your training session, did you face some challenges?
Yeah, the first person that came to me that she wanted to be trained. Initially, I was scared. I was like, hey, can I impact? Have I gotten to the level where I can impact knowledge into someone? But I took everything into prayer. And when the lady enrolled, yes, I was able to train. I was able to impact into the person.
Wow. So how many years have you been training students to become professionals?
So officially, training started in the year 2020. That was when I started training officially. Yes, and it's been 6 years.
Wow.
It's been 6 years I've been training people.
So within that 6 years, when you recruit the people, do you face challenges after recruiting them?
Yes, because, sometimes there are days that I feel like giving up because, explaining something and the individual is not getting what you are trying to say. You know, there are different type of people that I have met ever since I started training. I have met people that are fast learners. I have met people that are slow learners. But regardless of the category of persons I meet, I need to make sure I get to the target where the individual will understand what I am teaching before classes closes. Yeah, so the challenge was trying to make the individual understand what I am talking about. Sorry.
So have you gotten to a point where you tried, but things were not going on, and you have to recruit someone to teach, or let the person's own mate teach him or her?
No, to the glory of God, I have never had that encounter before. Because most time when you enroll with me, it is always a one-on-one affair. The largest class I always take is, my maximum class size is 5 persons, and all the time it is you and I. So there are times that in class other people might finish, and then there will be someone left who still hasn't gotten what I am trying to explain. But by the close of day, the person will be able to understand what I am trying to say or what I'm trying to teach. So it is always a success.
So you mentioned that you'll be opening slots for members of the Divine Healers Church, if God wills. But now you are saying the maximum number you take for your training is 5. Someone watching would be like, so if the maximum number you take for your training is 5, and now you open the free slots and people show up, how are you going to manage them? And is your class just a beginner class, or you do master classes, beginner classes?
Yeah, currently as beginners to professional class.
Oh, okay.
And I have slots for master classes. Normally master classes is a short class, maximum time 1 week. But with a beginner to professional class, it's 3 months cake training. Reason why I take maximum 5 is the space, and you have to be comfortable when you are working. Yes, so I take 5 people for each session. That is the maximum I take, because I have slots for pastries. In fact, there are a lot of training that I do. I have slots for dessert class. So
wow.
I have to schedule the time bit by bit so that I can have other classes, because sometimes the same month I am having my beginners class, I've also booked someone for a private dessert class. I also have a date for a group dessert class. I've booked someone for a juice and yogurt class. I've booked another person for pastry class. So I need to, schedule the days very well so that I can be able to attend to every individual.
Wow.
So that is why the maximum class size is 5. It's because of space, and then also for the students to be comfortable when they are working.
Wow. Well, I get it. It makes sense, and it's right. So you started from someone's house,
yes,
to your own shop by the special grace of God.
Yeah.
There's someone probably going to watch this video, and then the person wants to learn a skill, either baking or other skill, but the person has no capital or limited capital. What are you going to tell the person?
So now, God being so good, there are so many job opportunities in the baking sector. Trust me. Currently, I'm looking for a cake decorator. Currently, I want to employ someone. There are so many job opportunities in the baking sector. If you do not have the means to start your own bakery, because starting the bakery is not that easy. It's financially draining. You need money to fund into your baking journey. So one advice that I'll give is, you can work with someone. Our business is more of practical. So if you do not practice, let's say you went to a cake school, you've completed, and you want to sit at home comfortably waiting for money before you can start your own brand, it might get to a time or a point where you would forget everything that you were taught in school. But if you get a baker, you get someone to work with, you are earning a salary. At the end of the day, you are putting into practice what you were taught in school. So it's like a consistent thing that you are doing. The more you practice, the more you know. That is how our business is. So if someone wants to start his or her own brand and the means to start that business is not there, the only advice I'll give to that individual is get a baker. There are so many bakers looking for people to work with. Go to a baker, work with that person. Maybe it might take you a year or two to be able to put something together and then get your own space. You know, it is not bad when you work with someone. No, it doesn't take anything from you, but rather it adds to what you already know.
But do you think starting from someone's house to your own shop, it was your faith and your work that helped you?
Yeah, you know, when I was working from, not even my own space, from someone's house, there are times that when the orders come, I feel like rejecting them because the money was not encouraging. I sacrificed a lot because I felt, okay, let me just do this, because if I don't have anything to post, now there are people that would only purchase from you when they see what you do.
Right.
So I needed to get ways that I can show to people, I can prove to people that, yes, what you want me to do, I can do it. And like I said earlier, after that time, I didn't know any baker friend. I didn't know anybody. I didn't have anybody to even coach me or tell me that, hey, Beckma, since you don't have the means to start your own business, just go to this baker, work with a person. Because if I knew at that time, I would have gladly worked with someone, but I didn't know because I didn't have anybody to coach me during that time. Yeah, so I had to strive, do it all by myself, little by little, and with the help of God, and again to my church. But when I was baking ebia, I was baking ebia, but at that time I thought, yes, I was baking, but it wasn't that good like today. They still supported, they still bought it. Yes, today I want to use this opportunity to say a big thank you to Mrs. Ruth Ado. Yes, the wife of Pastor Abraham Ado. Oh. She has been very, very, very supportive. She's been with Beckma for almost 7 years.
Wow.
Yes, she has consistently supported purchase from me. She always tells people about Beckma. She's given me lots of clients. Even when I didn't believe in myself, she always gave me that encouragement that I am doing so well for myself. So today I want to use this platform to say a big thank you to her, and God bless you, Mrs. Ado, and your husband. God bless them so much because they've been very, very, very supportive.
Also, on behalf of Beckma Flavors, we say a very big thank you to you, because had it not been your support, she wouldn't have gotten many clients as she has today. So what advice would you give to the youths out there and then in the church about learning a skill and then working with it with faith and being committed to it?
So one advice that I'll give to the youths of the church is that you should be focused. If you want to venture into anything, just be determined. Be passionate about it. I always talk about passion because if you are passionate about what you want to do, you put in your best. Okay, I think Divine Healers Church, we are blessed though. Like we are really blessed because the church is big,
very
nationwide.
Very big.
We are many. So if you are a member of the Divine Healers Church and you have a skill, do not hide your skill. Showcase what you know. Like, advertise and let people know. Talk more about your brand. Let people know you very well. Because I think last year I brought up this idea. So I said, we've been going for youth conventions. Let me talk about that. We've been going for youth conventions, and all the time when we go for youth conventions, you see other people coming to sell products and stuff. So I said to myself, no, a convention is a big platform where I can show people what I do, because there are people that are in the church, even my region A1, that do not even know Beckma, because not everyone is on social media, and if you're not on social media, you're not in my district or my assembly, definitely you would not know me unless probably someone post my work or something. So let me use that opportunity to expose Beckma to my region, the people of region A1. So last year, for instance, when we went to the youth convention, I did a little setup at the youth convention, and the engagement was so impressive. Yeah, most people got to know about me. And thanks be to God, this year we are having a national youth convention. Like,
Yay.
I am so excited about that, because yeah, Beckma will be repping live. Yes, and who knows, maybe through that I might get people in the church that also want to venture into this business, and then we take it.
Thank you very much, Beckma Flavors, for sharing your insights with us. And to you, our listener or our viewer, just know that the opportunity you want is in the skill you already have. Just grow it, build it, and trust the process. My name is Nakwa Kokwoti, and this is TDHC Blogger. Thank you very much.